it's just, the whole movie was just so beautifully done. I'm telling you, you have to watch it. Like,
get your money, sis, fuck a hater. Get your money, sis, get your weight up. Make your money move, I ain't mad at you. Yeah, it's all about the cream and getting money, sis. Get your money, sis, fuck a hater.
what's good, everybody? Welcome back to 2 Cent Tuesdays with Jenny, where you will be getting my unsolicited, unapologetic opinion about what's going on in the world today. If you are new to this channel, welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you are notified every single time that I post a video, because you don't want to miss any of these. And don't forget to go ahead and give this video a big old thumbs up. Without further ado, let's get right into today's topic. I could not wait to talk about this. I have been waiting for this movie to come out, and I watched it over the weekend. And the irony of doing this video, and today's Trump's last day in the White House. Tomorrow's inauguration. The irony. But let's get right into it. The movie I am referring to is American Skin, written and directed by Nate Parker. If you do not know who Nate Parker is a very successful actor. He starred in movies like The Great Debaters, my particular favorite movie, Beyond the Lights. He starred as Nat Turner. Great actor. And I believe he teamed up with Spike Lee to produce it and gave us American Skin. Now, when I first saw the trailer to this movie, my mind was blown. I said, whoa, America is not ready for this. I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm going to give a few little spoilers here and there. Not anything major, but I am going to tell a little bit of the movie. So just letting you know, full warning, spoilers. But anyway, let's get a little bit into the movie. I'm going to tell the movie and also give my opinion as I go. I know I usually tell a story and then give my 2 cents after. But this time I'm just going to mix it all in it, because I can't really talk about one thing without giving my 2 cents right then and there, because the movie was just so damn good. So I'm going to go ahead and drop my 2 cents in there now. Okay. American Skin is about a father. His name is Lincoln Jefferson. In the movie, they call him Link as his nickname. And the movie starts off with footage from a dashboard cam, as well as, I believe, body cams of Link and his son Kajani getting pulled over by the police. The police asks, obviously, for license, registration, and he asked for the insurance. Link provided the cop with the insurance card, and the cop implied that the insurance card was expired. He said, I must have gave you the wrong card. Let me go get another one. When he went to go reach for another one, everybody got all frantic. Oh, don't move, da da da. We all know, as black people, when you are pulled over by the cops, you do not do any sudden movements. You do not reach too fast. You keep your hands where they can see them at all times. Things were escalating. He told Link to get out of the car. His 14-year-old son, Kajani, who was in the passenger seat, he saw the situation escalating. And as most of us do when we see things like that, we want to record to make sure that whatever transpires, someone will know what happened besides what they say. So the little boy pulls out his video, and now the partner on the side, he starts freaking out because his hands was out of the view, whatever. And he's like, show me your hands, show me your hands. He's like, it's just the phone, it's just the camera. So now at this point, everybody's all worked up. The father's worked up. The kid is worked up. The cops are worked up. He tells the kid to get out the car. Still hands. Still see both hands. He just has a phone. Now, I had to watch the movie a second time to catch the part where the little boy yelled, don't touch him. Because I think the father was trying to get to his son. Obviously, because a gun is being drawn on him. And the little boy tried to go get to his dad. And the cop took that as a threat, I guess, and decided to shoot and kill Kajani in front of his dad. From there, the movie flash forwards a year later and shows his life after the death of his son. This young college kid is doing a documentary on Lincoln's and Kajani's story. He told him that mostly it's for class, but hey, you never know, one day the world may see it. He also has 2 friends of his that's helping him out with the documentary. They follow him around. They tell his story. He shows him Kajani's room. The movie kind of flashes back and forth to, the relationship between him and Kajani when he was alive, and then back to the present day. They also interview family members, friends, different people who knew him and, knew the story. Lincoln was a veteran. Served two terms in Afghanistan, and he came back and pretty much was shitted on, which a lot of veterans are, and a lot of black veterans are. They fight for the country and they come back and they get treated like crap. He couldn't find a job, and he was working as a janitor in a high school, but he was doing the best to provide for his son. It's a very common problem in America. Vets come home to nothing. So from there, they show different parts of his life, and then the verdict comes out that the cop was found not guilty. No surprise there. That is what usually happens. So, of course, the result of that, everyone began to protest. Some people began rioting. And of course, like the police do, they want to keep the peace. So they decided to go to Kajani's mother, who was no longer with Lincoln. They were no longer together. But they went to Kajani's mother and they asked her to go on live television and please ask everyone to keep the peace. This is the captain, a black captain of the police department. So when you see those families that get on the news and say, if I'm not out there doing this, that, and third, you shouldn't be either. 9 out of 10 times the cops ask them to do that. And that's not because they wanted to. Lincoln feels defeated as a father. My child is dead, my child is gone, but this man gets to go back to his family and back to his job and live his life like it's normal, and it's not fair. Single tear rolls down his cheek, and from there, it immediately goes to him kidnapping the captain and them going to the precinct, shooting shit up, and they decide to hold court right there in the precinct. And the jury is going to be the inmates that these very officers locked up, as well as some of the clergy people that work there, receptionists and things. One girl was there just to pay her parking ticket, and next she's a jury member. From there, the cops felt like this was unfair. Lincoln told him, now you know what it feels like. The cop said, this is not fair, you crazy, these are not my peers. Because they like to say the jury is your peers. But 9 out of 10 times when it comes to a black person, they're usually not our peers. And Link just looked at him and said, now you know what it feels like to be me. So, from there, they really actually held it down like court. He went to the inmates and said, if any of you have any type of biases or whatever the case, which of course they do, but he said, I want everybody to really actually hear both sides of the story, and you guys determine whether this cop is guilty or not. So from there, it led to the most amazing conversation that I have ever seen in a movie. They covered so much, because what ended up happening was the people in the jury started putting in their 2 cents, and the cops was like, the jury is not supposed to speak. He said, in here, everybody gets to speak their mind. And that's part of the problem. Why can't they ask questions? Sometimes they have questions that they need to be clarified. So, it was an open discussion amongst everybody. And they covered everything, and I wrote it down just so I can make sure that I got it right, because there's so many things that I want to cover. So one of the very first things that came up was the statistics of black on black crime. This is the thing that kills me with them. But one of the white officers that pulled him over, he's like, oh, you guys want to act like it's always the cops killing the black people, but you don't ever see the numbers of black on black crime on the news. Actually, we see them all the time, because you people make it a thing with this black on black crime. And he's like, let's not forget about the statistics of that. And then one of the inmates told him, what about the statistics of white on white crime? Or Asian on Asian crime, or Hispanic, like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, don't make it seem like it's only black people killing black people. White people kill white people all the time. Serial killers, majority of the time, serial killers are white people. And the people that they are killing are white. Just saying. There was this very arrogant and ignorant Hispanic cop who was just like, so you really want to play this game? Okay, so who's going to defend my fellow officer? Lincoln told him, I guess you just volunteered. He said things like slavery is a cop-out. We make it hard for ourselves because of the way we act. All these type of different things came out of this man's mouth. And one of the inmates asked him, he said, you don't see the irony in the fact that the very people that were brought over in chains are still the same people that are constantly in chains? No, I don't see that. There lies the problem. But anyway, the conversation covered everything from slavery to women's rights, the Holocaust, biases, hip-hop music, covered so many different things. You have got to watch the movie. I would hate to give away the whole conversation right here. You have to watch the movie for yourself to see. But it covered so many different things. But like I said, certain things that really stood out to me that I was just like, wow, the narrative in this movie is like amazing. And it was so well done. One of the cops, these are the things that stood out to me. One of the cops, the cop that actually pulled him over, which was a white man, he said, our captain is black. It's impossible for us to be racist. The inmate says, that's like saying it's impossible to be a sexist if you're married to a woman. So that comment doesn't make sense. And I say it all the time when people say, I'm not racist. My best friend is black. I'm not racist. I'm married to a black person. I'm not racist. My child is... That doesn't mean that. You see the good in that person that you married. You see the good in your child. But do you see that good in every single black person? That's my question. And that's why I always feel like you can't tell me just because you are in love with someone who is black or you are friends with someone black, that makes you not racist. That's not enough for me. Just saying I'm not racist is not enough. You need to be anti-racist. You can have a black child and still be a racist. If you have never seen that other movie, American Son, starring Kerry Washington, that was a very good dialogue, showed you that you can have a black child and still have racist thoughts in your head. It was also a very unique part that stood out to me. There's a scene where Nate Parker's character Lincoln is standing at the window with his gun. I don't want to say it's a shotgun because I don't know guns like that, but it was one of them big ones. But the way he stood there and peeked out the window reminds me of the picture of Malcolm X. That picture that you always see when he's looking out the window with his gun. And to me, it was symbolic for by any means necessary. And I feel like this father reached the level of, I'm going to get justice for my son by any means necessary. So no matter what, whether he had to lose his life, risk going to jail, taking over a precinct along with his army friends, then that was the risk he was willing to take to get justice for his son. And Malcolm X had the same, the same way of thinking that, listen, if we want to get our rights, we have to fight. You gotta be willing to do whatever sometimes to get what you want. So I thought that was a beautiful shot. It's just, the whole movie was just so beautifully done. I'm telling you have to watch it. So I'm going to end it with this part, because this is what made me get up out my chair. I was ready to testify when this part came up. So again, the same officer brought up, he said, it's not about race. Race is not what separates us. It's class and education. So my brother Lincoln goes, okay. He said, so you have children. Do your children go to public school? He said, oh no, I work my ass off so that they don't have to. He said, okay. So if all we needed was education, why does it matter where the education comes from? Because it's not the same. Okay? Like he said, private schools are built like a campus, like a college when you go. Public school is built like a prison. Ran like a prison. If all we needed was education to make us all equal, how come our education system is so different? So that right there, that was enough for me, because I've been saying this for the longest. Ever since I got on this path of, starting with the protesting and really educating myself and really starting to notice how going to public school affects so much, because that is the start. And if you're in a school where your teachers don't look like you and half of them don't give a damn, you don't get the proper textbooks that's needed, you don't have the proper technology, you don't have the proper resources or programs to give you opportunities as if a kid that was in private school has. I mean, clearly there's a difference. So clearly it is about race. Because if you go to a predominantly white school, our education is not the same, bro. It's not the same. So to say the only thing that separates us is class and education, you're wrong. Because our education is not the same. We are not granted the same opportunity, and we are not given the same education as somebody in private school. With that being said, I urge you to go and rent American Skin. I watched it on Prime Video. I don't know if it's streaming other places. That's where I saw it. But it is well worth it. Come on, guys. You guys pay more for Uber Eats, okay? $7.99 is like Uber Eats fee. And if you can pay that, you can pay $7.99 to support this brother and educate yourself. And the narrative is something that needs to be heard. We need more narratives like this. We need to I mean, I get it. It's sad that this movie will not change everyone's perspective and it won't change everyone's mind, but it's something to think about. And I feel like it's a must-see. Whether you're black, brown, white, whatever. Give it just watch it. It's so good. Pay attention and learn something. Because this is the narrative that people need to see. I'm not saying that, this is how you go about things, you know, taking over a precinct. But sometimes you got to understand people get fed up and they want to be heard. And that man felt like, if this is my only way to be heard, then so be it. I have nothing bad to say about the movie. Only thing is, like I said, it wasn't what I expected, but it was everything that I needed. I'll say it like that. When I saw the trailer, I thought it was going to be action, you know, a whole lot going on, but it wasn't any of that. But it wasn't necessary to have all that. This is a movie where you sit down and you just listen. You just listen. That's it. So, American Skin, everybody, go and watch that movie right now. Go and stream it, download it, rent it, whatever you got. Go and check it out. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you follow me on all of my social medias. Everything will be up top and in the description down below. And Jenny is out.